is Isabel Wheeler. It is January 29th of 2020. This is Microbiology lab exercise week 3 of Microscopy for Microbiology use and function. So I'm going to be starting off using my microscope, and I'm going to identify the slide E in my slides. Okay, so I have the letter E. I'm going to take one of my lens wipes. Okay, and then I'm going to place this between the stage clips, and we'll do that here. Okay, and then we'll turn on our light. And we're going to be using the scanning power, which is going to be this one. Okay, so I have identified the slide. I have identified the E with the scanning power, and I'm going to take a picture of that through my microscope, and then I'm going to go on to low power. Switch to the low power. Okay, so I have now identified the letter E on this slide with the low power. I'm going to take a picture of that, and then we're going to switch over to the high power. Okay, so I have just taken a picture of the letter E with the low power. Now we are going to switch over to the high power, and we're going to repeat the same steps. Okay, so I have found the E. I found part of the E. I can't see the whole entire slide of the E, but I have taken a picture of what I do see. Now I'm going to replace the scanning lens with an 100 objective lens, and then I'm going to apply immersion oil on the slide and then turn the nose piece into position. Okay, so I've cleaned off my microscope. I've removed the E slide. Now I'm going to start with the Amobia whole mount, which is going to be right here. I'm going to place this on the microscope. And we're going to start out with our scanning lens, which is in place right now. And now I'm going to see if I can find it. Okay, so I have found the Amobia on my scanning lens. Now I'm going to switch it to the low power lens. I found the Amobia with the low power lens. Now I'm going to go to the high power lens. Now I'm going to replace the scanning lens with the oil immersion lens. Now we are going to take the lens and put a drop on there. And put it back onto the microscope. I use that to look at the penicillium slide that I put on the microscope. I have found the penicillium with the scanning lens. Now I'm going to switch to the low power lens. Okay, so I found the penicillium with the high power lens. Now I'm going to switch, take off the low power lens, and I'm going to replace it with the oil immersion lens. Okay, so I found the penicillium with the oil immersion lens, and now I'm gonna take off the oil immersion lens. Okay, so I used the scanning lens. I found the yeast hole mount. Now I'm gonna go to the low power lens and look for the yeast. Okay, so I found the yeast with the low power lens. Now I'm gonna go to the high power lens. And now I will take out the scanning lens and replace it with the oil immersion lens again. Okay, so I have removed the yeast hole mount slide from the microscope. Now I'm going to look for the bacteria spirillum. And I'm going to place this slide right onto my microscope. And I will put a scanning lens on. Now we are going to switch from the scanning lens to the low power lens. Now I will switch to the high power lens and switch to my immersion oil lens. Now I will remove my slide from my microscope, and I will get out the Bacillus form, and I will place that on my microscope. Now I will switch to my low power lens, and now I will switch to my high power lens. I've put 1 drop of immersion oil on my lens. Now I have switched to my oil immersion lens. Now I'm going to look. I've taken off the slide, and now I'm going to change it to the Bacteriococcus form. I'm going to place that on my slide, my microscope. So I have found that. Now I will switch to my low power lens. Now I will switch to my high power lens. Now I'm on my final lens. I'm on the oil immersion lens. I already put 1 drop of immersion oil on the slide. Okay, so this is exercise 3, wet mount slide. I am going to take 1 sterile swab, and I'm going to rub it against my cheek. And now I'm going to take 1 of my slides and place the smear on there. I'm going to take my pipette, get 1 drop of water, and place it where that was. And now I will grab a cover slide to place over it. Now I will place this under my microscope. I've looked in the microscope. Now I will, with the scanning lens, now I'm going to switch it to low power mode. Looked at the slide under low power mode. Now I will switch to high power. Remove this slide from my microscope and get a new slide and a sterile swab, and I'm going to wipe this along my gums where my teeth are. I have done that. Now I will take my slide, place that on there, get 1 drop of water, and a cover slide, and place that on here, and I will put this under my microscope. And then I will use my scanning lens to look at this slide first. I will switch from my scanning lens to my low power lens. And now I will switch from my low power lens to my high power lens.